If you own or are in the process of buying a 30A luxury investment property and looking for someone to manage your property, don't do anything until you've watched this video. Because the truth is, making the wrong decision can cost you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and severely impact the experience of you owning both financially and personally. Over the next 10 minutes, I am going to share the 7 questions that you must ask a property manager before it's too late, so that at a minimum, you make a more informed decision. My partner Jeremy and I have been in the short-term rental industry for years, successfully managing properties and creating an industry-leading marketing software called MarketMySTR. And together we own Ultvare, using a client-first type of property management company business model referred to as co-hosting in the 12 30A beach communities between Camp Hill State Park and Topsail Hill Preserve State Park. Here's what Jeremy and I see happening every single day. Property owners are paying way too much of their rental income to managers who treat their multi-million-dollar investment like just another beach rental. These managers are juggling too many properties, and unfortunately, your luxury property is getting the same attention as everybody else. But here's the worst part. They just don't try hard enough to maximize the potential of your property in the 5 key areas of elite rental management. How do we know? We've seen it, but we also confirm it consistently by talking to those who are in the business every day, like real estate agents. Just recently, in fact, I spoke to a very successful and experienced 30A real estate broker who has owned her own brokerage for the last 10 years. Here's what she said. If you want to be a good rental manager, you have to stand out, have excellent customer service, follow through, have elite quality control, and get results. According to her, very few managers down here do any of these. The result? Your Inlet Beach or Rosemary Beach luxury home, for example, sits empty when it should be booked because your manager is using the same pricing strategy as every other property. Your beautiful Seagrove or Grayton Beach property isn't getting the TLC it deserves. Your Watercolor or Watersound property is underperforming financially because your manager doesn't understand luxury property marketing. And when something goes wrong in your Dune Allen or your Santa Rosa Beach property, a pipe burst, a guest has an issue, you need an answer, the response is just not good enough. As I record this video in early June of 2025, many people will tell you that the 30A market is getting harder. And they're right for properties that are managed poorly. But here's what they don't understand. The luxury market along 30A is really just actually consolidating. The mediocre properties with mediocre management are struggling. Here's another myth that isn't true. It isn't about beach access and how tourism is down almost 10%. Although that's what managers will tell you, and that's what they will say is to blame. But the reality is luxury properties with the right marketing strategy, they're thriving. Jeremy has consistently achieved elite results using our system. In fact, one of his properties did 159% above his competition. Imagine what the same approach does for your luxury property in Seacrest or Dune Allen versus a property that versus what you are experiencing right now. And if you are buying a property, what will happen if you choose the wrong property manager? The difference isn't the market, it's the marketing and management approach. So how do you tell the difference between a property manager who will maximize your investment and one who will treat it just like every other rental? Jeremy and I have identified exactly 7 questions that separate elite managers from the mediocre ones. Most luxury property buyers and owners don't address these questions because they don't know what to ask until now. Let's go through the 7 questions right now and make sure you stick around for the last 2 questions because these are the ones that separate the average performing properties from the 90% percentile and above properties. Here's question number 1. How many properties does the manager manage? This reveals everything about the attention that your property is going to get. If they say we manage over 100 properties, that's a red flag to us. Do the math. If they have 100 properties and work 50 hours a week, that's 30 minutes per property per week. Is 30 minutes a week enough attention for your multi-million-dollar investment? At Ultvare, we cap at no more than 5 properties per community. Why is this important? Because your property gets individual attention it deserves and gets marketed to guests who prefer your community where your property is located. If you're like me, 30A is the greatest place on earth. But as we know, each of the 12 communities are very different. That's the approach we take. The story we tell about a property in Rosemary Beach, for example, is very different from the story we tell about a property in Grayton Beach. Question number 2, who owns the relationship? In other words, will you be asked to sign a restrictive contract that locks you in and makes it very hard for you to get out of? You own the home, right? You should control the relationship, not the other way around. As a co-host, you own the relationship. We sign an agreement that states you can fire us with 30 days notice instead of locking you into a contract and not being motivated to get results. We have to perform or you can leave. Which arrangement would you prefer? Also, many times the property manager owns your guest data. That's a problem that you want to avoid at all costs. Question number 3, who owns the OTA or online travel agency listings like VRBO, Airbnb, and Booking.com? This is about control and flexibility. Red flag answer. All listings are under our control and company account. That means if you ever want to switch managers, you lose all your reviews, your listing history, everything. The right answer is you should own the listings. We help you optimize them, but you maintain control. Question number 4. What is your specific experience with managing properties? And can you show me some results you've achieved as compared to other rentals in the category? This is the question 90% of property owners skip, and it's possibly the most important one. Managing a luxury property is completely different from managing a basic rental. The guest expectations are higher. The marketing approach is different. The revenue management is more complex. Ask them, show me examples of properties you've managed. How do you handle the unique challenges of high-end guests? If they can't give you specific examples and results or give you a plan, they're learning on your dime, or they just aren't going to try very hard. Question number 5, who gets paid first? This reveals whether your interests are aligned. Some managers take their commission off the top before expenses. This means they get paid before you get paid. The right structure is you should get paid first. Expenses come out and then the management fee last. That way, your manager only succeeds if you succeed. Question number 6, what is your revenue management strategy? These last 2 questions, they separate the amateurs from the professionals. If they say we use dynamic pricing software, that's not a strategy. That's a tool. The right answer should include market analysis, comp set identification, seasonal adjustments, event-based pricing, minimum stay strategies, and direct booking optimization. At Ultvare, we use tools like Price Labs and AirDNA, but more importantly, we understand how to interpret the data and make strategic decisions for luxury properties like yours. Question number 7. What is your direct booking and off-platform marketing strategy? This determines whether you're building an asset or just renting rooms. If they don't have a plan to drive direct bookings to your property, you are 100% at the mercy of the OTAs, Airbnb, VRBO. That's really risky. The right approach includes a dedicated website for your property, email marketing to past guests, social media presence, and partnerships with local businesses. This is where our software, MarketMySTR, gives our clients a huge advantage. We can implement sophisticated direct booking strategies that most managers just can't. Now, beyond these 7 questions, there are a few things that make working with us different from a traditional manager. First, through another business we own, Nantucket Furniture Company, we can provide the highest quality custom luxury slip-covered furniture at cost. This is the furniture you see in the really high-end homes. That means your property gets our designer quality furniture without any markup. Second, because we limit ourselves to 5 properties per community, we can tell a unique story about your property. Your seaside property isn't marketed the same way as a property in Dunellen or Rosemary Beach or Seagrove. They're all distinct. We create custom marketing and highlights about what makes your property and community special. The third, because I own MarketMySTR, our clients get access to the marketing tools and strategies that other management companies simply do not have. So here's what you can do next. If you're frustrated with your current property manager or looking to have one because you're buying a 30A luxury property in one of these 12 communities and want or need a manager for your property, click on the link below to schedule a brief call with us. During the call, we can go over these questions. If you're serious, don't wait, because here's the thing. We only work with 5 properties per community. That means in places like Rosemary Beach, Seaside, and Watercolor, we're going to fill up quickly. So if you want to work with a management company, a team that treats your property like the luxury investment it is, don't wait. click on the link below. Before I say goodbye, I want to reinforce that your luxury property on 30A should be generating maximum income while providing an incredible experience for you. It should be an asset that grows in value, not a headache that causes unnecessary frustration. The right partner makes all the difference. Ask the right questions, get the right answers, and you'll get the right results. Thanks for watching. Feel free to schedule a conversation with us, and we'll see you in the next video.